All right, YouTube, what is up? I'm here with Nicholas, aka Aurora Dragon. We're going to be looking at an Akali mid game. This is a coaching session.
Top.
Or is it top? Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. To be top. I thought it was mid because I saw you walking, I think, at the beginning towards mid or something, and I just assumed. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh well, there was a
Yeah, the Ziggs.
Ziggs auto locked. Didn't say anything. I was like Ziggs, nothing. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go.
Well, yeah, that's the correct thing to do if he's gonna just kamikaze his fucking game.
Exactly.
Then you have to just
Right.
swing over.
I didn't mind. I said I can go mid or top, whatever you want. So.
Yeah, this is all good.
So can I just go through like my mentality? For
Yeah,
this?
absolutely. I want to hear it.
My big thing was just keep Nasus off the farm, no matter what. You could see really early trades level 1, just proccing my passives, just really abusing him because we're both melee. Keeping him off the farm, freezing, basically perma-freezing any chance I get, and just really zoning him to really punish him for getting even close. So the problem is this kind of went on for about 40 minutes. And even I did make 2 kind of big mistakes, but I feel like my team should have taken advantage of the fact that I was keeping him off the farm for so long. And I would really love your opinion on what I could have done better, because I was really kind of at a loss.
As soon as you go in for those trades,
Yeah.
the reason I keep going back is because I just want to see the execution of it. As soon as
Yeah.
you go for these trades, try to go like right up into the brush as fast as you can.
Oh, to break the minion aggro?
Yeah, because it'll keep the minions locked in a little bit longer than.
I am taking a bit of damage.
Yeah, you see how long?
Yeah, I'm not using the brushes at all. You're
Yeah,
right.
you could. I mean, you could alternatively just walk back further, but I think the brushes are a little bit quicker, and you can threaten. Similar to like Rengar, you can just kind of threaten that you'll come out. So like if you're sitting, if you're sitting here, like because you're right. I mean, the trades are really good early. Like this is what I want to see.
Right.
Just to optimize it a little bit, I think. As soon as you go in there, literally follow to this. You see where my mouse is? I hope you can see.
Yeah, I see it.
So
yeah.
you literally just go right here. And then the minions break. I mean, yeah, try to auto that, but if you don't get it, you don't get it.
Or I could. No, you're absolutely right. I was not even thinking about that in the lane.
So you're basically what you're doing is the faster you break that aggro off, the longer that the minions are gonna stay locked here, and then you can kind of just zone him off even longer. And that's kind of what I prefer to do, to be honest, in lanes like this. When you have a champ like Akali, or like a Rumble too. I mean, anytime you can harass and keep someone off of the farm, it's so big. But I see you're doing the right thing. You're not just like mindlessly pushing the lane. It just would have kept it in place a little bit longer, I think. But that's minor. That's minor in the grand scheme of improvement. Wait, what's the elo, by the way?
This is silver 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's like trying to back in front of you. I don't know what he's doing. Let's back that up a little bit.
Okay.
I want to see this again.
Yeah, I was thinking he was trying to back early to like pot up, and I just try to break the back and just keep the threat up. Waste his time.
Okay. So you go down. Ward is fine with me. Now this is the shitty spot with Nasus.
Yeah,
is like once he locks in. Now here I would let this push.
Yeah, I freeze the entire game. I think he keeps it frozen well enough that I decide to just shove it and bounce it off. Yeah, but I recognize it's pushing, so I kind of just keep it frozen.
Yeah, I mean they're really. This is the thing about Nasus is like. Akali in general isn't gonna really do anything pre-6 beyond like the bully harass type stuff.
Right.
Which is really good. It's just once he gets to the turret, you kind of just like throw up your hands.
No, I think I tank just to freeze even harder. Just to really be a huge asshole to him.
Yeah, this is good. Another thing, same concept as earlier.
Yeah.
You can use the brushes right there.
Mm-hmm.
You can just wiggle in and out of the brushes to to keep it further up. Yeah, you can keep it further up because look how far back he is. Like if he gives, you know, good players will just follow the wave, but if he isn't gonna follow the wave, and you still have Shroud, so you can just, you know.
Yeah, you're right. In my mind, like those brushes didn't even exist, so like that's really
yeah,
good.
that's a big thing actually on the on top lane and on like bot lane is like you can use these to get really creative with how you manage the wave. I don't know if you've seen what I've been doing recently on stream where I've been using the brushes to do this like funky if someone double jungles, I'll literally come behind the turret and do like a makeshift like a makeshift proxy where I just get the first wave to come down to the turret. So like you can do some funky stuff with the brushes, and the most I have to use to do it is 1 pot. So it's basically I pay a pot to like for this wave. Well, you know, I don't know if you even see double jungle in silver.
No,
but it's just to illustrate my point that like the brush is really good for keeping minion waves in line, and you can use them to just like aggro, re-aggro, and you basically just you could try it in a fucking in just like a bot game. Like you could just open it up and try messing with like when the minions come up, like if you can keep them in one spot without taking damage. It's a neat little thing that you can do.
Yeah, I've been trying to learn how to manage minion waves. I have not had any experience doing it with brushes, so I'm gonna have to work on that. So
the goal here with Nasus is you kind of get the picture. You don't really want him to farm. You want to try to kill him if you can. Your opportunities in this game. Did you take Ignite? All right. Well, here's my first criticism.
Okay.
Take Teleport. I've been telling a lot of people to just take Teleport in general.
Well, I thought I was going mid, but
yeah, even still. The only reason, well, hold on. I might give you the nod just because it's Soraka, but this is low elo to where I don't think it matters that much personally.
Even mid lane?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't do it. The reason being is because the meta, just remember the meta is like teamwork. I guess if you really want to take Ignite mid and you have a good reason to do it, it's fine. Akali can handle people with that Ignite in my experience. I mean, I don't play a ton of Akali, but I've played against good Akalis enough, you know what I mean? And I've literally... What's that?
I figured get kills, get snowball, you know, and just put... Because I didn't want this to go to late game because Nasus.
Well, yes, you were right in that, but two things. One, if you start pushing him around once you're 6, right? You will never kill him 1v1. Well, no. I mean, you might, might if he's bad, right? But we like to at least assume that if the guy's playing Nasus, it's gonna be really hard to kill him, right? Because if he does freeze or sit behind the turret, the minute you go in, he's just gonna ult and wither you and fucking sit there, and you're gonna be in an awkward dive spot where you could just feed him, which is really risky. Or alternatively, because I understand, like, you didn't know you were gonna face Nasus, and like you could have been.
Well, I would have taken Ignite probably anyway.
Exactly. So wow, my phone's making weird noises. So if you take Teleport, what you can do is if he ever freezes out the lane, you can just do something where you just back and literally walk down bottom lane, and just because Akali, the best Akalis that I've faced. And this is, again, this is from my experiences facing the champion, not necessarily playing the champion. When I face a lot of Akali's top, this includes, you know, guys that are up in fucking, that are near, have been masters, or guys like Wings of Death, who plays a lot of Akali, for example. What they like to do is they'll just make a roam down the bot lane.
They will never expect it.
Yeah, and it's a really fucking easy roam to execute because it's Akali. Like, you just click on people, right? Like, we can both agree that the amount of damage you can put off just by clicking on people is ridiculous. So all you have to do is, with Teleport, you get to make these roams randomly throughout the map, and at lower elo, those roams are going to just fucking... If you time them well, they're going to get you fed anyways. And you're not going to need Ignite to secure a kill. Because most of these players, like you said, they won't expect a roam. Even if Nasus pings back,
Soraka would have no chance.
Yeah, and even if Nasus pings it, which is probably, you know, which is rare anyways, because he'll just freeze. Like, if you push him to the turret and then just back and then make a run, like I'm saying around the time that you're level 6, obviously, beyond, If he just starts freezing, just back and then just walk into a lane, and then he'll push. He'll realize and he'll break the freeze, and then you just teleport top. Basically, it's the same principle as, okay, so like if I play Tryndamere or like a Jarvan top, for example, right? My principle in the game versus Nasus is shove him to the turret, proxy farm, and do shit. For Jarvan more specifically, it's shove him to the turret, go mid and dive somebody. Or shove him to the turret, go into the jungle and kill his jungler while this guy freezes. Because there's one thing...
I would have loved to roam, but first and foremost, I tried not to rely on my jungler to provide vision.
Yeah.
And in this case, my jungler doesn't provide vision at all. So when I realized this, I back and I pick up a couple wards, so at least I'm covered. Not to mention they also counterpicked with Lee Sin.
Yes, so that gank would really hurt.
I was trying to really respect that and not do anything stupid. So as soon as I realized my jungler was one of those junglers who doesn't ward, I was like, okay, great, I'll buy the wards. I'll be the bigger man, you know.
Yeah.
And I still had enough safety where I could comfortably push up a little bit, or follow the freeze if it happened. But just roaming around seemed just like really dangerous to me, especially with there was like literally zero vision.
That was the reason I was saying it was more in line with like a Tryndamere or Jarvan to go roaming around through this side of the map.
Right.
I think that
I would have loved to.
Manaless AP in general. If you watch, for example, like Zion Spartan, right? He goes into solo queue. He'll pick something like Rumble, okay, and he makes that roam. If you watch where he just basically backs and then goes into bottom. If you watch like Korean solo queue, there's a bunch of guys. I know, for example, Marin. Like if you want it beyond me, if you want it beyond my advice, then just look at it through the eyes of somebody who's even better than me, right? So I know that Marin, he in solo queue, if he's like 6 on a Rumble, he'll just fucking randomly go down bottom. When he finds a window that he likes, he'll just walk down to bottom and just win that lane. That is literally that is the alternative to, because like I said, you're not, and you seem to understand, is you can't go into the jungles.
Right.
Because it's Lee Sin. He's just gonna fucking, if he locks into you, you might be able to kill him if you get some XP over him.
Yeah, he's gonna find me and get vision on me and burst me down before I get my cooldowns.
Yeah, so that's something you don't really want to deal with, which I understand. So in the future, if you're gonna be playing the Akali top stuff, I don't mind it because I do think it's strong. I mean, I was saying, for example, like Wings of Death that I played against him, I couldn't do anything. It's like Tryndamere versus that shit.
Right.
Because if you know how to manage the Shroud and manage the Harass, it's actually pretty fucking good.
It's really, I think people really underestimate her really after the nerf. They're like, oh, she's not good. But she's still really strong.
Yeah, no, I agree completely. I think that if you can master this champ, is this something you're going to be spamming?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Okay, well then great. I'd say
I think I'm sitting at like a 60-something% win rate with her right now.
Yeah, and you'll get better. And I'm telling you from experience, Akali is a champion that I agree with you. If played well, I don't think the meta matters. I think that her kit is enough.
Right. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's just one of those things where, because you have the outplay potential with the Shroud, because many champs have outplay potential with mobility. Akali has that in the form of the Shroud.
And her ult is insane.
Yeah. If you know how to work the Shroud and some good ult charges, you're not going to be killed very easily.
Yep.
And she snowballs. It's one of the most ridiculous snowballs in the game. So I'm right on board with this. But you need to put this into your repertoire. So apparently Nasus is roaming now.
Yes, I noticed he was roaming down. I didn't know if he was going to go mid or not, but I wanted to maintain the freeze just in case he was trying to like ward or just try to trick me into pushing lane. Because either way, he wanted me to push, and I wasn't level 6 yet, so I wasn't comfortable pushing past mid.
Okay.
So I just decided to maintain the freeze at this point, and just rush for level 6.
Okay. You should be using your Q to farm.
I do.
Yeah, I just saw you miss a couple, so.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. I was scared of the wither. I was below.
Yeah. I see. You're a little worried that you were getting. I mean, you still have Shroud.
Yeah, true. Okay, so I get level 6. I do make a misplay here. I don't correctly account for his ult extra health.
You might have been able to win that if you flashed back further. You made
yeah.
kind of a funky flash. We'll watch this again.
Yeah. See, so I got that to proc off. I'm running for my cooldowns.
You can ignite sooner too.
Oh, true, true, true.
Like, Nasus is one of those cases where, like, the faster you ignite, like, before the all-in is probably better.
Would it make more sense to ignite before his ults? I mean, how does that work?
I was just thinking in terms of,
just for the tick damage?
Yeah, for the damage and, like, whatever. I don't know. Let's see. Increasing maximum health, so I don't think it matters.
Oh, by 300. I did not expect... Oh, man. I mistimed that. I misjudged that a lot then.
But the thing is, every time he Qs you, he's healing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
so
I just didn't respect it a little bit.
It's fine.
This was only one of 2 big mistakes that I made.
It was very close.
Yeah.
But here, yeah, the flash is bad. I mean, it happens.
Yeah.
But if you'd flash, look, I want to just show you.
Right.
Because I'm pretty sure
I think it was a panic flash.
Yeah, we were just like shit.
Yep.
Which is a mechanical thing you'll get better at over time, and you'll get more confident. But basically the idea would have been you space back a little bit, like right there after that Q. You space back, and then maybe depending on your cooldowns.
Did I have another charge of my ult?
That's what I was gonna see. It's like your charge might have came up. Hold on, let me slow it down real slow. So you had 9 seconds.
9 seconds.
You would have been able to probably kill him if you spaced away and then just followed him, because he just used
Q.
Yeah, and I think he's on cooldown for a little while. Yeah, you could have potentially killed him with your R, but that's okay. It happens. I personally, I didn't mind you going nuts there, but let's look at when you did it though.
Alright, so I had a Q on him. I had enough time. He didn't respect that I had a second Q on cooldown. So I knew that I could burst him. Well, I did not account for the ult extra health. But if he didn't ult, I would have killed him.
So here's the way that you need to play this trade in the future.
Right.
So I actually don't mind the aggressive trade. Sorry, I'm eating breakfast too.
No problem.
I don't mind the aggressive trade here, but what I do mind is your logic.
Well, I had more minions. I had extra Q, so I know I had the.
Well, he had more minions by the time you went in.
Oh.
Because you're not like, you see what I mean? He had more minions there. Okay, these minions don't count because you stepped over the line. You see what I'm saying? Like, you're behind the line, so you can rule out the basic the laws of minions for the purposes of discussion. Okay, but that's bad, but that's not the end of the world because you have Shroud. So, but the way you place the Shroud is what concerns me more, is because I don't mind you going in for a quick trade to just feel out where you are, because I think you can get away with it, to be honest. You have Flash, and you're trying to see like where you're at, which is cool, but the way you place the Shroud tells me that you thought you were ahead there, which is wrong.
Yeah.
Because you're not really ahead. It's more of like a feeler, like, all right, how much damage do I do? Trade. Because I do like that you're looking to outplay people with this elo. I think it's great. But the execution is off, and I want you to just look at this for a moment and realize, like, okay, so he's obviously going to be level 6 around the same time. The wave is pushing to you.
Right.
And you know that, so it's level 6 versus level 6, and he has basically double your health going into this. So you're fine to trade, but when you go in and trade, drop the Shroud here, in this area. Because that way you can kind of pull back and reassess, and you can use the brush
Well, the reason I dropped it there is because obviously it's a very aggressive Shroud. I was already committed for the kill.
Okay, well then I don't think you should have committed yourself for it. Because he still has ult. He still has ult he still has ways he can beat you right now. I would have, if my health was high, if your health was higher, I would be like, sure. But I just don't like you going in for this because he's got too much health here. Akali isn't that OP, my friend. That's basically my my long story short. I don't mind this trade, but it's got to be more of a feeler trade. And what's even better, if you can get him to the point where he pops his ult
and then back up,
and then you back off.
Right.
So I would rather you try to get to that point as soon as possible, and just keep working those, because he's not going to be that strong right yet. He's got a sapphire crystal. He's got no real sustain. So you will poke him down. But the way that you played this is more of like, I'm Akali, fuck you. But this is a champion that you need to whittle down first. And that's the most optimal way to go about, because he's giving you this kill, really. Yeah. If he doesn't back away. Because the wave's pushing to you, you can make these quick trades and just pierce him away. And then he's going to either have to back or die. And at which point, you can just wait till he backs, push the lane, back yourself, and then, like I said, go bottom or something. But the way that you go in here, I think, is very, very risky, and as a result, you put yourself in a situation where he gets a kill that he shouldn't have. Now, that said, if you play it mechanically like flawless, I think you probably could have killed him
if I flash farther, yep.
But all that aside, I think it was an unnecessary.
So I lost the wave. That was a bummer.
That's why. That's another thing. Yeah. That's why it's really bad. Because if you lose with it pushing to you, which is why the trade, if you want to make a quick, succinct trade and see where you're at, by all means, do it with the intent to back down.
I'd like to point out I was pinging Elise to gank with him pushed up for 7 minutes.
Yeah.
And now she finally comes after there's a free kill, and this is pretty funny because she blows a lot of shit and it's pretty bad.
Well, I'm just gonna point out, this all, whatever she's doing is irrelevant to you. I mean, at this level.
I just think it's funny that I was pinging for a gank because he was pushed up the whole game, and then she finally comes after I'm dead.
Yeah. I just don't want you to get into that mentality of, like, my jungler at this level. Because, like...
Yeah, it's really hard not to.
I know, but... And I know in an optimal world, like, she comes and ganks or dives or something, but you gotta understand, these guys are dumb. And the only way that you get beyond them, you can't make trades like this one.
Right.
Or
like I said, that was one of two only big mistakes I made this game. Basically, for all intents and purposes, I get super big, and for some reason I'm unable to translate that into towers and wins.
Well, all you can really do is once you get kills, like spam ping shit. But we'll watch and see how you do these trades now. Yeah, that guy has, like, no resist, apparently.
Yeah, he...
oh, he rushes the Sheen. Why did we back?
No vision in the jungle. No vision on jungler. I was low, and I didn't have any wards, so I backed for wards.
Okay, I guess it's not bad. A wave's pushing to you. I don't mind it.
Yep.
And I think you burn teleport. Yeah, that's good. I thought the wave was pushing, but it's not. And then you're basically, you're just trading that XP and no one's getting it, so.
Right.
And you're going to get this huge wave.
2 greens.
Yeah, that's actually a good back. Don't let me confuse you. That was fine.
Thank you.
So, you go back. You've got, what, a green ward? Or, yeah, you got 2. You got the revolver.
So I'm here
doing
freezing
kind of
again,
like, yeah, you're trying to basically farm off of him, which is fine. Okay. Yeah, he's really squishy. I feel like he has some shit fucked up somewhere.
He does not. I think he's going off like the recommended build of like rushing Triforce or something.
Yeah. So yeah, he's free money. You could probably stand. You could probably stand to push this in. So this is a spot.
I didn't pick the time to ward, I think.
Well, you just backed, which would be fine.
I cancel.
I just want to show you so you get this mental picture.
Yeah.
Always use your minions as a gauge to where the other minions are at. So in this spot here, you know that these aren't going to hit the turret. You want the end goal when you get kills. Remember, the end goal is to get this entire wave ranged, like caster included, getting chunked by the turret, so that if he doesn't come right back, he gets punished.
Right.
And in this spot here, you have a window of time, and you have plenty of health. I don't think Lee's just gonna come off and one-off you at this level. I mean, he might. He's big enough to, but you have a big minion wave you can work off of if he does happen to show up.
I was just trying to play super safe. Probably too safe.
In here, this is a spot where I think you should have just shoved it all the way in and then back away. Just because I don't think that, you know, he, like I said, he could show up, but this is a spot where I think you have to bring him up here and challenge him to kill you, because you will have a huge wave to work off of. Obviously, don't take the turret, but get this wave pushed in and then just back away. You know, dodge the Q or whatever and just back away, because he can only really kill you if you just react poorly.
I normally would shove it, but I also didn't have flash.
I know, but I still think it's fine.
Okay.
You're 2 levels ahead of him. It's like I said, he has to play flawless to kill you.
Okay.
And there's a chance you just kill him if he fucks it up, because you are ahead of him. You're ahead of Lee. I mean, Lee has damage items, so like I said, he misses a Q or something, you're gonna kill him.
Right.
And that's how you should view. I'm telling you, it's confidence within reason. Okay, you have a huge minion wave, you have the lead. This is low elo. You're trying to snowball a game. Get the Slain here. Challenge him to come up here, and then dodge his Q. You know what I mean? That's all you really have to do. Is as soon as you see him back away, he's gonna have to Q you. That's the only way he can really get to you, other than like a ward jump. But even still, you can use Shroud and maybe juke him if he ward jumps.
I place wards in the river, just so I have my peace of mind. I can push up and harass this Nasus like further up the lane.
Okay. His build, he's pretty squish. And he's not really adjusting.
Yeah, he's definitely not respecting the damage, so I keep the wave frozen as much as possible, so it pushes in my direction, and I can get him low enough. Yeah,
this is all fine.
Yeah.
This is a spot where, like, if he's so bad that you can just exploit him and get money off of him, then roaming doesn't really... like, he's obviously horrible, so you can just... That was a good time to use the bush again.
Yeah.
Because he keeps giving it to you. Like I said, most top laners will just follow you. Like there, it looked like he might have been getting it. That's what you want. That if you can get his ult and then heal up, and then go in, that's what you want. That's where Akali makes the most money, in my opinion.
Right. Because I have the sustain built in.
Yeah, exactly. So you can just sit there and notice these minions. That would have been great for the brushes.
Yeah, it totally did not even occur to me to use the brush.
I just had the most vicious morning eye booger.
Oh, nice.
Dude, I literally, like, it was so painful to pull out of my eye. It was, like, stuck on, like, the corner of my eye. Jesus Christ, I'm, like, crying now. Oh, my God. All right. So, you burned his ult, so now you have to know you win this. Oh, you didn't burn his ult. Now you burned it.
I didn't burn his ult, but...
He might have been able to... No, I don't think he could kill you. Alright, so... Cool.
He keeps letting me proc my Q, and then just sits there, so I have a double Q.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
Here, you shove this in here.
Even though I'm low?
Yeah, even though you're low.
And I lost all my vision. Because that's why I backed, because I
well, yeah, you're right, but, well, first off, we have Vision of Lee here.
Okay.
Which we could see. I see that you're playing defensive here. Just positionally, this is a much better spot to just throw this in, because it's already, again, use your minions as reference. If you clear this wave, it pushes to turret.
Okay.
Fast. So, and he's going to have to burn his teleport. You know he probably has teleport, and you want him to use it as soon as he can. And there's, there might be an argument for him to not have to use it if you don't push this wave, because it's going to take a while for...
And I want to punish him. I've been punishing him hard, but I want to punish him as much as possible.
Yeah, exactly. You want to make him, like, want to quit.
Right, exactly.
So, the goal there would have been to push it in the wave.
So
and
I see a
fucking
couple
teleports
mid,
to a minion
and I decide to roam.
And you see, if he misses his Q, he is fucking done. And this is all, yeah, this is good. This is a good roam. Would have been better if this wave was pushed. For obvious reasons. But it looks like he's gonna fucking stay anyway. Oh my god, that's horrible. He's not worried about you at all, which...
Yeah,
the way that he's moving is just so bad.
So again, begin the freeze again. Force it to push in my direction. And just keep him off, you know. Just punish him the whole day. And the whole time I'm telling my team, like, listen, I got this guy locked down, you know, make something happen. So slowly but surely work it back towards me. Now, alright, so I got 3-man dive here.
Okay. Now you decide to shove in. That's good.
Right, because I know he's dead, so he's not going to be able to get it.
So what's your next item?
I go, I think I rush Zanya's.
Good.
For team fights.
That's good. That's what I want you to go next.
Because the Shroud's like a baby Zanya's, and then coupled with Zanya's, there's twice the outplay potential, I feel.
Alright. Let's see. You are hugely stacked right now.
Yeah, so...
To the point... Alright, so... Here's where we have important questions. Yeah, this is where we have the important...
I want to roam. At the same time, though, I feel like I'm weighing between keeping this Nasus permanently off the farm for the entire game and seeing how my team fares out, or roaming and then letting Nasus free farm top.
So here's gonna be my verdicts. Alright, I think we might, from this point on, we might be overplaying this situation.
Okay.
Because, like we were saying earlier, with turrets, right? We're trying to win turrets and eventually win the game. If we continue on this path, like, he's gimped. Like, he's so gimped. He's got, fuck it, is that 150? That's horrible for 20 minutes. So he's gimped. He's really far behind. He needs, like, I think it's 350 or whatever for him to technically be...
So at what point do I like, lay off the pressure on a Nasus? Because that's what...
Oh, I'm just thinking, like, the way that you are right now, you're like 6-1. You can basically one-shot anybody on their team outside of maybe, like, Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah, and once you get Zhonya's, you have the potential to, like, just solo carry team fights, and I think you're... I don't know how much Zhonya's costs in total, but I feel like you're close.
Yeah, close. I think I'd buy it outright.
Yeah, so... This is a spot, and I want you to notice, like, this Ignite stuff, you probably would have killed this guy with that Ignite a couple times. It would have been close, maybe, but...
I think I roam here for the scuffle mid. No, I misplayed this here. He did the whole kick thing, and I
you tried to flash into it, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you got this Akali roam shit going. It sucks to waste your flash. Obviously, just learn from that.
Right,
you want your flash, like, for something clutch. That was fine to back. You have Zonya's now, I suppose. Yep. And boots. That's good.
I pick up a pink because, you know,
looks like they just die. Good little juke there. I like it. That's what I'm talking about with mobility.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Which is so huge. Which is so huge and fucking.
I love it so much.
This is all well and good. It's easy money in solo queue.
Yep.
That's the type of shit that. Yep. That's why I think Akali's good in solo queue. Because what the fuck is he gonna do? You put the shroud down, he's got no way. He overplays it, and there you go.
People don't buy pings.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I think it's a good champ. You guys aren't getting shit for objectives, which would start to concern.
Right. Alright, so here, so if you back up real quick, I saw Annie top. I didn't know if she was backing, so I checked the brush with the ward first, instead of face checking.
Yeah, that was good.
But I think I get... No, I don't get caught. I do get caught by Annie later. That was one of the questions I was going to ask you. Do I get a Banshees? Because basically, even throughout team fights, all she's doing is saving everything just for me. And then she can one shot me at that point. She's huge.
Yeah, she's definitely gonna hurt. You can do banshees, I suppose.
I mean, what do I do? Because she literally does not blow anything in team fights until I show up. I don't know.
I mean, you can zone use it. I mean, I don't know if I would. I think I would just challenge her to hit you with a good ult and then just try to zone use. Try to read it before it happens. As long as you have vision.
One shot before the stun's up.
What, by the Tibbers?
Yeah. No, it's the Tibbers QW combo.
I'm gonna see this. I'm gonna see it eventually.
Yeah. It was 2 really good Tibbers. All right, so I got.
Okay,
Tibbers.
I gotta see this here.
Yeah.
Because this looks like it might have been silly. All right, we can kind of tell this is a little ambitious for you.
I realized that after the fact.
So how do we know this is ambitious? All right.
Well, I didn't have vision. I was thinking towers at this point. I was like, the game is going on too long. We need to take a tower.
Auto the tower. Annie shows up. You should probably get that zone use ready.
Yeah, now if you change the vision, you'll see like she literally just came around the corner.
Oh, hold on. Yeah, let's see it. Blue.
I had about like maybe a half a second before I even saw her.
Yeah, with no vision of Annie,
yeah.
You have to be the bigger man here and think about these things that could happen when you're in this spot. So essentially, so she shows up here. All you can really, I mean, you could try to be a fucking man and just go onto her and Zonia's, or you know, get her to miss, or go for this. You could dive this guy right here. Honestly, I don't see why you're not. In hindsight.
I was just focusing on the tower. I was tunneling so hard.
Yeah, and this is a spot where like you have 4, and this guy's deleted. I think that the best move you could make, knowing that there's no CC on their team to stop you. The only person is Lee. Basically, challenge Lee to boot you away, and then if it gets hairy, just zone you out. But I think this might have been a missed opportunity just because this target, he's gone.
Right.
Like if you want to kill him there, like look at this. This is just, and I get that you're after towers, but the only way you're going to get towers is getting rid of people.
Yeah.
It is a little sketch because Elise is bottom,
but
you are big enough. You are big enough in this particular spot where without vision, you know he's gone.
Right.
And you have Zonia's. You don't have flash unless it's it's down. But you do have Zonia's and you do have Shroud behind turrets, which is more than enough to play some games and potentially get yourself back out.
Yeah, much better than getting one-shotted by Annie.
Yeah, and if, you know, these are spots where, I'll back it down, if I was in your position, let's show you. So basically as I'm coming forward, these are like preparatory stages of the game. Like people think, well, no. Well, you could ward to the side. I don't know if you had a ward. You had a pink ward.
Trinket.
And you do have a trinket. Yeah, you definitely should throw one over. But the other thing I was saying is outside of the vision, which, you know, yes, if you have the trinket and you didn't use it, that's not good. But the other thing I was going to say is when you're coming up to the turret here, you know, do kind of like a reference check. Be like, okay, where are the minions at? So we're going to hit this turret. These minions are going to connect with the turret. We're going to have about 5 minions of time to damage the turret. You need to be doing all these little checks and balances like, okay, we got 4 top. I'm huge. Who can kill me? You know, that's what you really got to be telling yourself. Who really can fuck me up right now? And you'll come to the conclusion that based off builds, you'll be like, okay, this is the only person. This is the only thing that I have to worry about right now. So, in hindsight, what you should be doing, aside from the dive on Twitch, which is an opportunity I think you may have missed,
is locating Annie.
But, no. It's not even that with the ward or whatever. I mean, yes, like I said, the ward is good, and that would have told you. Your positioning should reflect that you're scared of wherever she is.
Okay.
So, not knowing that she can be here, coming forward, or coming behind, your position should be like here. Bait your team. Seriously, like bait your team. I'm not even being like funny. This is exactly what I would do. I would literally position like towards this side. See if she drops her ult. You know what I mean? See it? That's you are giving her a condition where it's like, go ahead, drop your ult on these people. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like, what? They're not fed. I'm fed. Fuck them. Like, that's how you should view it. Because at the end of the day, you should see it as like, I have to get rid of Annie, and then I can probably beat their team.
Right.
Depending on whether or not I get rid of Annie. And for all you know, they survive the Annie ult somehow, maybe. You know, maybe she messes it up. But if you give her a big one, because look at your positioning.
Right, yeah.
You go to attack the turret, which is all well and good, but you have Ziggs coming behind, you don't know where she's at, and then she gets a free ult.
Yeah.
Which fucking sucks for you.
Yeah.
Because
I just get deleted.
Yeah, because that's like the worst case scenario, really.
Yeah.
And there's really, and that's a big reason why I say bait your team in spots like this, because you are the team.
Right.
At this point, really. I mean, what else do you have? You have a loser fucking Ziggs, a loser. I mean, this at least has items, so it's not that she's useless. She's just not in position here.
Right.
So you know, it is what it is. She's just bottom for whatever reason. So nothing you're gonna say is gonna warp her up there. Nothing you're gonna do is gonna warp her up there.
Right.
You want to pressure the turret, that's great. And your team, you know, your team is going to maybe have a fight. You could potentially win it, but only if, or, you know, maybe get some kills and disengage, but only if you're positioned on the upward side or you have vision of Annie. Challenge that guy to fucking flash for you. And then, you know, zone you, shroud, and then try to get out. If he goes, give a quick
The thing what happens, though, is Annie will, I don't know why these guys are like, magnetized. They always group, and Annie gets out stuns, and it becomes if I don't get timbers, it becomes a 1v5.
Well, yeah, I mean that's Annie in a nutshell. I mean Annie's is a great solo queue champ too, for that reason, because there's just very little counterplay. I mean there's counterplay, but it's like she bullies everything. She bullies at all stages of the game. Like she bullies the lane phase, which means she almost always gets fed randomly. She bullies literally every team fight that she's fed. Because her ult wins a team fight when she's fed.
Yeah.
So, I mean, all you can really do, man, is just try your best to avoid it, and then just go from there. In addition to, this is another reason why I argue for teleport. It's the same shit that I was talking. I had some Diana mid guy in the LoL replay review just, I think, day before yesterday. You being able to pull one or two people gets you away from the team fights.
I pull 4. I you know, that's why I'm at a loss. Like at one point I think I pull 4, and I think we agree on like a split push strategy when the team fights stop working because of Annie.
Well, here you pick the Annie, you get the kills. Definitely shove the lane.
Right.
This has got to go. You go
I
top here. No.
Oh, top? Okay.
Yeah, you go top there.
Okay.
Think of it like this. This is advanced algebra, dude.
Right.
So, look. So basically, right? You clear them out, and you're like, shit. We got a window to push without Annie. This is what. If I was in your shoes, I'd be like, okay, no Annie, which means we have a window. I would scan the map, and I would go, okay, well, this is here. We can't get to here and clear this.
Exactly. Right.
But I can walk through the jungle and put hits on this turret. And Annie just died. I have, let's see what abilities you have here. You have what? You have Zhonya's. You have.
And now that you mention it, like it seems so simple.
Yes, you go up here, you get this down, or you get her to.
We could have gotten that time for sure.
Yeah, I'm not positive. Yeah, I think you would have probably gotten it if you went up there actually, depending on what Nasus does. But yeah, I think this was kind of a missed.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, yeah. Because I'm like, alright, so...
Well, yeah, it's a weird spot, because you kill them, and a lot of people get in these spots where it's like, well, I'm beyond minions, so what do I do now? I can't go backwards, because if I go backwards, they spawn. So you have to look for the opportunities around the map, and bottom was pushing on its own, but it's not to any objectives. This objective's right here. You have, like, I don't know, 1 million minions up here. Yeah. And you just walk up here, and then there you go, free gold for everybody.
I didn't even see it.
Yeah, no, it's good. These are just having me tell you, like, it's what part of the reason that you have the lessons is so that you can see shit like this. And like, I'm pretty sure that tower is going to be defended because no one goes up there, and there it is. And you would have had it, yeah. So that's a missed turret. which is big. I like that you've upgraded the trinket, although I don't think that you're really using it as much as you should be. It feels like.
I don't think it. I don't think that it shows the proper cooldowns.
Okay.
Thing. I always have. I warded. I don't have the thing on me, but I'm a stickler for warding. I do use it a lot.
Well, Annie gives you that mid turret, which was nice. Because I feel like she could just walk up and ulted you.
I ward Baron here, cause Baron.
Yeah. Cause Baron.
Yep.
Okay, this is huge. I didn't have to ignite him. He was dead.
Okay.
Yeah, there's nothing he was gonna do. Unless you, for some reason, didn't have a gap closed, but I think he was dead.
So, a huge team fight broke out here. Alright, so this is where I get one shot.
Alright.
I would love
You have a window. No. You have a window where this is, like, awesome, but you just weren't thinking. So as you're approaching it, you need to be thinking. Like, you need to be reminding yourself. It's like the preparatory phase of, like, where, I was saying up here. Yeah. You're walking towards turret, and you have these windows of time where you're not really doing anything, right? You're literally just walking to the fight.
Right.
These are the moments where you kind of just go, what can kill me as I, like, enter this scenario?
Well, the thing is, she was surrounded by 4 people.
I know.
Lone Tivers by now. It was ridiculous.
I know.
For fucking years.
I know, and, that's awesome that she does that in this spot because, you're like I said, you are the only person that they have to worry about right now. So, with that in mind, remind yourself as you're coming forward. She's full HP, too, so, you're right, but the dude's full HP, so he probably hasn't done anything yet. That's what you can deduce.
I mean, she could. Most Annie just flashed Tibbers right there, and
yeah, but we already know that he has full HP, so he hasn't really done anything yet. We can probably assume. I know it sucks that you walk into it and get blown up, but this is this is why it's a good champ, man, because you walk into it. You know what I mean? People just walk into this shit all the time, and that's what makes her so good. Is because it requires everybody to be thinking about what if she ults me here? You know what I mean?
Right.
So this is a spot where as you're coming forward, you can go in, just jump onto him in Zonius, and he's dead. And you don't have to worry about,
But Tibbers is instant, though.
No, I mean, if you jump, unless he friggin' instantly ults you, like, you dash in Zonias.
I think so, yeah.
Or alternatively, if that doesn't appeal to you, I personally think that you could get in there in Zonias before unless he just preempts it and just, like, drops it on his head. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because the way I view it, try it out, get into some, well, I don't know if you can test it per se, but the next time, at some point you'll face a Fed Annie because it's fucking solo queue, and you will. But what I'm saying is I think you could just dash in and bait it.
Okay.
Alternatively, putting the shroud down. Oh, okay, so you do jump in. Yeah, right here, you would have had it. See what I'm saying?
So I had enough time.
Yeah, you had enough time. You jump in, Zonias, and bam, you're good. Because you need to be thinking ahead of that guy. You basically need to be, in order to win team fights sometimes, you have to be thinking about what they're going to do. The whole layering concept of I do this, they should do this.
Was it a good idea to join the team fight here or to just push a tower? Because I was really debating whether or not just to leave them and just push a tower with the pressure.
You could. I just don't think you push very fast.
So obligated to join the team fight because like they already.
Well, I don't mind you going. I just mind you dying. I don't mind you going over here. The death I think is bad because I think I personally feel like you could have very easily been thinking about this in this position, right? And while I'm hammering this home because I want you in the future that like once you're going into team fights, remind yourself like I am the most important person.
Right.
Yeah, exactly, because like I'm trying to climb, right? So I'm the most important person of the team. So I need to value everything a little bit more. So for example, and this is the type of shit you got to take on if you're going to climb consistently. And then if you do get good at this, it's just juggling. It's juggling different bits of information on the fly. As you're coming forward, you think, okay, if she has ult, she ults me, I might die. So I'm gonna try to bait with Zonias. And that's how you should view it as you're coming in. Or
I've never done that maneuver before.
What, like bait with Zonias?
Yeah.
or alternatively, bait your team. Fuck them.
Yeah.
Same concept as before. Fuck them. I don't care about them. They're not climbing. I'm climbing.
Right.
If you're uncomfortable with making that play, if you're not sure, you might be right. You might be right if she plays it perfectly. But I think it's a bit of a mind game spot where she has to ult herself right away. Because, like, you just dash and then Zhonya's, there's a good chance that you're going to get through, and she's just going to ult you.
She's going to automatically ult herself, yeah.
It's just it's like a mind game thing. She could, in a perfect world, she could just, like, ult herself, and then you look stupid. But I think 9 times out of 10, people don't react that well. She wants to make sure she hits the combo, and she's going to be like, I'm going to wait and then hit it, and then you just preempt the Zhonya's, and then there you go.
No, right there, obviously, you know, Annie's in silver.
Yes.
Drop it.
That's how I view it. I view it as like, I'm better than everybody. Fuck them. I'm gonna play this person, right? Like I'm better than this guy.
What really kills me is that I could have outplayed this whole situation with one button.
Yeah. Yeah, and then, you know, after, you know, whatever happens, then you can just push bottom, and you can feel pretty confident because this is, like I said, this is your only threat here. Yeah. And once they come back up, if Twitch or Soraka get anywhere near you,
just
on the turret, you just dive them, and then you get this fucking.
Which is why I was thinking Banshees, because it would have been like it would have done it for me.
Yeah. I mean, maybe. The more I look at it,
at this point, Annie is literally the only threat on the entire team.
This is a fair argument. If you're uncomfortable with the idea of, like, you know, having to think about what damage could come out, I guess in this, I'm only going to say this spot, because in this spot, you're right. There really isn't anything else to worry about. You have a Nasus that's like a mile behind with like a fucking Triforce. I mean,
he went double sheen at him, so like obviously he's
yeah, he's not going to do anything anyways. The Twitch can't really kill you ever. Maybe he can kill you if you don't burst him down. Yeah. And Soraka heals well. Maybe they can kill you. I don't know. I think in a vacuum of like, I don't want to have to deal with this bullshit.
Right.
Yeah, it
just
could
be fine. Just because this is such a unique situation.
Yeah, you could do it, but I would encourage you to just get the fucking. I would encourage you to get good. No, I'm kidding. That's honestly, honestly
right.
Like,
you're right.
It's a minor. I mean. I'm trying to phrase it. I'm trying to phrase it the right way. Yes, you could go Banshees and win this game, but you don't need to go Banshees to win this game. And then what if Soraka plays it well and heals this Twitch, and then you've bought Banshees, so now you don't have enough damage? That would suck, right? Yeah. So it's like, yeah, technically you could go Banshees, but I don't know if it's necessary because you have the Zhonya's, and you could just play these spots better. Is really what it comes down to.
It never occurs, you know, like the whole Zhonya's bait never occurred to me.
And then again, think really hard about these, like in the future when you're playing the games, and like I said, the minions are meeting the tower. Think about that shit in advance. Be like, okay, we are about to hit fucking prime time battle, because they're gonna defend it. They have to defend it. If anything, like, newbies are newbies, but they know that I'm gonna go to the fucking turret and hold it. Like, they know that much.
Right.
And you need to be, like, piecing together how things are going to look, like how the fight's going to look as you're approaching the tower. And then you make the judgment calls. Okay, this person's going to do this. I'm going to do this. This person's going to do this. And, like, you'll come to conclude. You'll be like, okay, I'm the fed one.
What is she going to do?
Yes, she's going to come up over the wall or in front and flash Tibbers, or come over here and maybe flash Tibbers. A lot of people won't even do it. A lot of people won't even flash. They'll just walk up.
Right.
The good ones will flash, and that's where you say there's like no counterplay to that. But for the most part, you could expect that he was going to appear somewhere down here without the vision. And then if you're positioned at the top, same thing when you're coming through the jungle here, you should be thinking, well, I'm going to go into this fight. How can I fuck this up? Is pretty much... If you were constantly... seriously, if you're constantly like reminding yourself, like, how can I fuck this up here? Like, what can go wrong? Because it's one of those laws of leagues, dude. It's like, you know, you're fed, but something you're gonna do something wrong.
She's holding on her timbers for me, even though that's completely retarded.
Yeah, yeah. What happens if she just happens to have it here? Even though I'm a level ahead, do I really want to find out what happens if she gets to me with a full combo? And which you do find out that she apparently 100 and O's you anyways. But
the other thing with the Banshees, I would have had a little bit of magic distance. Maybe I could have lived. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It would be real sick if you bought it and she still kills you anyways.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Would have been.
She's got the death cap. She's got the void staff. Like she's.
Yeah, it might kill you anyway, which would be the worst thing ever.
I think that's why I ended up not buying it.
Yeah, that would suck. So, all right, let's see. I mean, this isn't game breaking yet. I mean, it sucks. Dude, it's hard. It's hard even for me, man. I've been playing this game for a while, and like dealing with Fed Annie, like I'll do the same mistake that you did, where it's like I'll forget that she's around, and then I'll get fucking blown up, and I'll be like, I should have fucking figured that this was coming.
But here I get caught.
Okay.
At this point, I send everyone top. I said I'm gonna split, and I try and get as many people on me as possible. So I tell them like I have 4 on me.
Yes. You do. I think you will get the tower at least, right?
No, what?
Okay, you do get the tower at least. I was gonna say, the only, like, I want you to watch this for a second. The idea of splitting is not bad, because of your position.
I know Nasus is here because I just saw.
Yeah, but this isn't what. Look at where you're standing right now, and look where the minions are. That's what I'm. Oh, I can't pause. That's gonna suck if I can't pause. Oh well, I can just slow it down and rewind. But look where the minions are right here.
Yeah.
Like you shouldn't be here. This is natural vision, basically.
Right. Free wards.
This is so. There's a reasonable chance that these guys are hanging out.
Yep.
So now that you see it, it looks pretty obvious. But in the future, if you're gonna split, take the long way and just push down this way until you have vision.
Right.
If you see that there's 3 up here, I don't mind you doing all this shit. But I want you to see how wrong it looks now with the vision.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because then you won't make the mistake again. Because this is a mistake. Because all you really have to do is just push the wave in. Because you're splitting, right? Emphasis is on splitting.
I first started out because I thought I was going to get the easy pick on Nasus.
Yes.
And he just baits me right to his.
Yes.
That was my fault.
And the only reason that it's your fault is because you didn't go through the front of the minions. You push the minions in, then you get vision, then you can maybe work a pick. When you're dead, again, it's the same logic that like when I do any of my champs. Unless I'm like support, like if you're dead and you're the guy that's leading the team,
exactly.
That's it. I mean, you pretty much just your team's gonna lose. Watch,
exactly,
they'll lose right now.
Yep, absolutely. And
because you're not there, and they're gonna lose, and that's what we're trying to carry. We don't make these mistakes. There's a good chance we can still win. You might lose, but there's a good chance.
With myself, but.
So that's okay. I'm gonna show up one more time. Are you leaving me, babe?
Yeah, I am.
Alright, I love you.
Love you too.
So, it was right here. The other thing, you could have taken this big wave, too. That's an option. Either way, walking directly into traffic, look at this scene, and make a mental note.
Yep.
Basically, use the minions themselves as vision. Don't go diving back here and battling until you see everybody. Once you see everybody... Then you see like 2 or 3 people roaming up here, and then you catch Nasus, great, because you can probably 2v1 there, right? But if you don't know where they're at, you're just giving them a free window to beat up your team.
So just always play better safe than sorry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I will if I see 3 top, I will 2v1 in your spot. I'd be like, hell yeah, I'm fucking Fed Akali, I'm battling, hitting the streets.
Right.
But without that vision, if you die, you're going to hurt your team a lot because they're the only, they're just kind of like, you just treat them like they're bots, dude. They're going to do just enough. These are the games, by the way. There's probably plenty of games in your history where, like, you just win and your team does okay.
Right.
These are the games where we find out if we're climbing or not for most people.
Exactly. Right.
And the way that we climb is by mitigating spots like this. Because now, look, these guys are just like, Akali's, and this is exactly what they're thinking. Akali's dead.
Yep.
So now... we get to stomp newbies.
It's open season.
Yeah, it's just a fucking newbie stomping time. Which they're correct to think that because I mean they're gonna win. That's a fucking free team fight for them.
Yeah.
All right, so game's not over yet, though.
The team was arguing a little bit, but we finally agreed on the split push strategy again. And this is where I started drawing like 4 or 5 people. Right, and this whole time I'm pinging the tower, like, please get top, please get top.
This
like,
is fine.
Yep.
And they do break a tower, so, I mean, you can't ask for more than that, really. That's
Yep.
pretty good. I don't mind that. You pulled 4. That's fucking awesome. And they got a second one. So how do you lose this?
That's what I was hoping you could tell me.
Okay, let's see.
Because
I mean they did. I mean they did really take the turret. You can't be too mad at them there. That was
right.
That was good. That's the best you can hope for at the CeeLo is that they wind up doing something off of that. So it works out. All right.
So I think the team wanted to try to sneak a Baron. I was like, okay.
Well, this might be it.
So Annie had GA.
Oh wow.
And then this is where it becomes the 1v5, right?
All right. This Baron is really bad. The reason it's bad though, is just because the waves aren't pushed yet. If you have the waves pushed, then it's fine. You need to see that it's bad because you wouldn't be here if you knew it was bad.
Right, I should have called it off.
You ping it away and say no, or you just stay the fuck away and ping them back, and if they die after that point, then that's their prerogative, right? So here, you go in. You should see the GA and know. That
I do see the GA, and I'm trying to stay away from the Annie. So she didn't have stun up on that. I burst Annie down. She has GA. I'm looking for another squishy target. She comes back up. By that time, my team is like,
they're all dead. Yeah. Well, this is purely a result of starting a Baron.
Right. Absolutely. The classic
it makes
Baron throw.
Yeah. It's a very ugly call. In the future, this is probably why you lost. Honestly, this is the biggest factor based off where we're at. Because that big Baron fight is like, that's gonna be Baron for them too. Yeah, and they do it. Yeah. So, what have we learned?
Safety, and don't do Barons with.
Yeah, well, I don't mind, dude. I really don't mind you trying to encourage your team to Baron, if and only if waves are pushing. But if you look at the map, this is going to be so costly if you lose.
Right.
It's just going to hurt every which way. You're not going to get any pressure on this shit. This is going to be time that the inhib is going to have a chance to respawn.
The only reason why I did it is I thought that middle inhibitor would have kept them busy.
No. It won't keep them busy enough on its own. These other lanes need to be pushed. And this is also another argument for me for, like, teleport. Because you could just be hanging out down here and be pinging your team away. If they decide to do it, whatever, right? And you just push this on down, and then, you know, isolate and kill people when they're out of position, because that's what Akali does best. But
so it's just another tunnel vision.
But here, yeah, this is just bad because, like, there's just too... like I said, I can't pause right now because my shit's, like, broken. Oh, but basically, this is pushing.
Yeah, it's pushing.
This is pushing, and it's huge pushing. It's not just, like, pushing. Waves. It's, like, massive waves. This is the only, like you said, this is the only thing that may keep them busy, but it's not enough. You need more vision of them, and the only way that you get vision of them and get control of the Baron before you do it is if you have these waves pushing. Their job is ridiculously easy because they can't do anything else right now. They literally have nothing else they can do other than defend this wave. But even in a fucking diamond game, diamond players are gonna look at this and go, "Well, fuck, these will hold."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
They'll just go, "Well, these will hold, so we have time to defend this."
Right.
So because they have no real, they literally have nothing to do other than defend the Baron. When you look at it this way.
And we can't 5v5 because Annie is...
You can't 5v5. You much prefer what got you here in the first place.
Right, which is the splitting.
Which is pushing out the waves, right? Yeah. That's what brought you to this point, is that you pushed the waves, got 4 to you, and then your team, you know, you got use out of a bad team.
Right.
But by doing this, I think is what put you in a really shitty spot. Which apparently it doesn't end the game, because there's another 12 minutes or so.
Yeah.
But this is where...
the team conversation kind of went, okay, well that sucked. Let's go back to what was working, which was splitting. And so we go back to splitting, and the rest is.
The rest is GG.
We'll see. I think what happens is they aren't they don't execute the split properly. Well, I pull like another 4. I think I say I'm gonna split top so they can get the bottom tower.
Yeah.
Or no, or do I go bot? I'm trying to remember. Whatever. We're saying that we're gonna split again. I'm telling Ziggs like go. So we split again. I'm pushing, and they fight. What do they do? Oh, alright. So yeah, I definitely pull here. I get caught from the Soraka silence, and so I'm like take the tower.
Don't back in the brush.
Okay.
Because that's just.
Should I just have ran?
Yeah, just play back more.
Okay.
These minions are giving you vision.
Okay. I thought I was gonna make it.
That was very close, yeah. But even still, that's more. That's you want them to see you.
Right.
Honestly, in my experience as split pushing, you want to just sit right here and let them see you, and then just walk backwards.
So this was a big throw for me.
It's a throw in the sense. Well, it looks like this fucking Twitch was right there on you anyway. But I think in general, it's better to just walk down, and then that way you give them the chance to chase you.
Right. Okay.
By backing here,
and
you just give them the chance to check. Right. Really, right? Like all your.
And I'm not wasting enough time. I have to buy my team more time.
Yeah, that's basically how I view that spot. Is that when I play like Tryndamere, I'm challenging them to chase, and that's like the more. Or the thing that I'm looking to do. Wow, this replay review is, or the reviewer is like breaking because like it won't let me rewind without clicking on it. It was not letting me pause. But even still, this is a good replay.
I knew they were coming.
You know that they're showing up, and you want them to chase you.
Okay.
So like,
I definitely had time to run and get a lead on them.
Yeah, and just see.
Some of them might have been cutting me off past Tribush.
Yeah, already. But if they're doing that, then they're fucking crazy. They're basically. Let me rephrase this. Basically, they're never cutting you off through Tribush there. Like they might be, and if they are, whatever, you're just gonna fucking try to duel them and then Zonias, right? So you're gonna buy a lot of time. But this is not buying time at all. This is just you die. But if you back away, you see them come up here. This is where the mind games come in, because if one person stays and the others break off, then you can come in and challenge him.
Right. And
battle him. But if you just die freely, you never get to make that. Everything that you're doing from coming up here and standing at the top side of this map when you know Annie's coming down, you're giving players an opportunity to make mistakes that lose them team fights based off, my experience with team fights. If Annie ults someone other than you, there's a chance they're going to lose the team fight.
Right.
If they come down here, see you, and then chase you to this point on the map randomly,
that's a free inhibitor.
That's going to be a lot of a good up. Your team may still lose. You know what I mean? They may still fuck it up, but regardless of if they fuck it up or not, you're giving them the opportunity. Yes, we're just maximizing our frequency of victory here. Is all we're trying to do.
Right.
So, with you backing here. You just back away a little bit, see how many, and this is about how far I would have backed up to about here,
right.
And then you see, okay, one comes up, one splits off. I'm gonna see if this guy is stupid, and you just kind of walk at him, see where their team is. You're checking heads on the mini map. You see, 3 up here. Maybe you should try to go for this guy and see if you catch him,
right?
And battle him. And maybe if 2 show up, Zonias, maybe disengage, get out. Maybe not, whatever. But those are the options that open up.
Yeah,
only
I didn't
if
use my
you play back.
Zonias. I didn't use my Shroud. I didn't burn enough time.
Yeah, and it's cool, man. Splitting, honestly, split pushing and understanding like the yin and yang of it is
I'm not
one of the hardest things. No, it's really tough. Like it's really tough. It's the sad thing is as tough as it is, it's not really viable at like super high elo anymore. It's basically just who team fights better. But lower elo, because people chase so often, and because people, misplay so often, like, you'll be able to just kill somebody randomly splitting. Like, someone will just die to you because they're stupid.
And at this point, it's over a minute death timer, so...
Yeah, so it hurts a lot. But going over it with you will improve your decision making on it. And like I said, you were worried about people potentially flanking you. Will almost never happen in this spot. And if it does, like I said, you can just fucking try to kill him and then Zhonya's, and by that point, you're wasting so much fucking time that it's probably worth it.
Yeah.
But yeah, dying here free, bad. Backing up and getting them to chase you, and then maybe they catch you, you Zhonya's, you waste time. That would be really good. But I don't even think they would ever catch you if you were playing right here. You're just challenging them to be stupid. You're giving them opportunities to hang themselves, essentially.
Okay, I'll try to remember that.
Alright, so let's close out this replay. This was a good one, though. I think we got a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, I felt like... Alright, so here's great. So I managed to drag them all the way down here.
Let me back this one up again.
Right.
Because I wasn't paying attention.
I was like, alright, well, last time I messed up, but this time I dragged them all the way past Tribush. I was like, you guys can definitely do something with this.
So you do a little battling.
I know the rest are coming, so I'm just trying to drag them as far as possible, you know?
Dash to Annie Zhonya's.
Okay. Yeah, the Annie stun got me.
Yeah, dash to Annie Zhonya's. And then try to dash to somebody else.
Right.
Try to get her to fuck up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just, it's Annie. If she plays it right, she's gonna stun you.
Right.
If you delayed a little longer with the Zhonya's,
I could have bought at least 10 seconds.
They might die because of this. Well, I don't know. If they die now, they were gonna die anyway, probably. Okay, so they know to back away at least.
Oh, I was pinging the shit out of.
And Braum, you know, Braum's trying. They're trying.
Yep.
They're giving it their all, you know. They may not get out, but they're trying.
Right. Yep. I was thinking, you know, like, I'm doing my best. They're doing their best. You know, even if we're not that good.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like they're just. Look how broken Soraka is.
Yeah.
Yes. Dude, that fucked that champ right now. Healing him to fucking full from back here.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I believe it. I love playing her. She's one of my favorites.
But yeah. So the Zhonya's bait might have bought you your team a little bit longer time. You would have kept Lee Sin away from them a little bit longer. You know, whatever.
Things like that add up.
Again, I don't think you're trying to mind game this Annie enough.
Okay. Alright, so here's where I get caught. Now, I know obviously it looks like I'm just running into them, but I had no vision of them. I probably had no reason to be at Dragon anyway, considering that we just stole it. But I was there to contest the Dragon, and Braum had just stolen it with a really good Q. It was a really good steal. I actually can't see the minimap because you're covering it, but it's okay. I know what happens. If you look at the vision, she turned off.
Oh yeah, you just kind of walk into the wrong person.
And I was just like, ah, shit. And I could have zoned this in retrospect.
Yeah, basically, if she sees you, or if you see her, she sees you, and she's probably just gonna drop it on you, and you have a chance to zone use it. Yeah, there's not much you could do there. Yeah, that just sucks. I'll grant you that sometimes, you know, you may. Now, the only thing I could say is maybe walking that route is kind of sketch because you just they just finished drag and your team's up here.
Exactly.
So in hindsight, yeah, you probably should walk
no
around.
Reason to be there.
But I will grant you that it was kind of a gross spot to where you literally walked into Annie.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like.
Vision did not help me right there.
Yeah, so it's okay. Like that, I don't think that's the end of the world. But yeah. In an ideal world, take the long way because you know that they're hanging out. I know that you're floating because you want to see if there's anything that you can do. So I understand the logic of floating there. I don't think you're just being an idiot. I think that you are legitimately trying to find maybe like a Twitch or a Soraka off by themselves that you can.
Thank you for recognizing that.
Yeah, yeah. I know what you're thinking when you're going there. It's just it's more about the fact that it's an unlucky situation and your team's up here. That makes me think that it might be better to walk around. But I can understand why you would have tried. Because if you can 100-0 anybody at the stage, it is big.
Yeah.
But...
so I think we wait for the death timer to come up, and then we say, okay, let's try to split push one more time.
Well, here should be... We're waiting on Baron. Is what you should be thinking.
Waiting on Baron, okay.
Because they just won Baron, so your goal in life is to survive. So it looks like you're shoving top. You need to back there, yeah.
I end up saying, fuck it, I'm just going to YOLO for the mid and hip and try and pull them off. Because I know that I can't fight them 5v5. So what do you think on that?
Okay. So you didn't back and you elected to go ahead and The only problem with this,
because I don't think that if I backed, I would have been able to stop them regardless.
Well, here's the thing. All right, so we're in this position, which I guess you say to yourself, they're gonna take base turret anyway, even if I'm there. So I'm just gonna try to get this. So what you need to do is while you're doing this, you need to watch. And I actually don't mind this in like a sunken cost type of way. Like, well, we're fucked here. Nasus teleports. I would just try to trade for it here, and hope to God.
Trade what?
Try to get the inhib and get out.
Oh yeah. No, I know I can get the inhib.
So you get the inhib. Now you try to escape, which is not gonna happen versus Cheese Sin. Well, it might happen. I don't know. So you do your best. No, and that's fine actually.
I was like middle inhibitor worth.
I mean, if it delays the Baron, which is, in my opinion, that's a win. And if you honestly went in your mind, we're not going to defend the mid-inhib anyways. If you made that judgment call, then I'm on board.
Yeah,
I'm on board with that because I would have probably thought, if I'm in this position, you know what I mean? I don't like that you're here because of the way that the game's played out so far, because I think we could have changed a lot of things to avoid this particular spot.
Yep.
But since we're here, and then Annie puts the game away pretty much. Yeah. That's. I mean,
and I asked my Ashe, why are we standing there?
Well, I mean, they're never gonna play it optimal. Versus a flash, they're just gonna write it off as a flash. Technically, in an ideal world, they should be sitting at the turrets.
Yeah.
But it's not ideal world with the CeeLo. Which is why I hammer home the concept. Like earlier, we could have done a lot of things to avoid this situation.
And like I said, it was only 2 or 3 mistakes, but it was mistakes that cost us.
There are mistakes that in like a vacuum, yeah, they get you in this position. The bigger ones, to be honest, weren't even the lane issue with Nasus where you like died in lane. It was more of just not really managing this Fed Annie, which is pretty much on you and only you.
Right. It's my responsibility at that point.
Yeah, you gotta be like, all right, she can one-shot me, so I'm gonna bait my team and be a general douche. And now Nasus is even pretty scary. Akali does kind of fall off, huh?
A little bit.
Yeah, later, like ultra late. I mean,
the stuns are, the CC stun.
It feels like people can really survive that crazy burst later in the game.
Absolutely.
More than they can mid-game, yeah.
Even after the Void Staff.
Yeah, I see it. That's what I'm saying. It seems like she does kind of fall off. But she definitely has the snowball, the mid-game snowball, which is what you want right now.
Yeah.
Oh, well. So, overall, man, I think that you are approaching the game in the right way. I think that you're acknowledging that, like, okay, I need to work on some stuff. And I think you're receptive to these, like, ideas of, like, okay, I'm going to have to mind game and do a little swagger with stuff like up here, like, bait my team, or up here with, like, maybe bait some Zhonya's out. These things make a difference, but I want to really hammer home. This Baron was the biggest issue.
I should have just said no, even back off.
Yeah, if they do it, and they die, you shrug your shoulders, and you're just, whatever, this is going to be a loss, probably. Because
by me being there, I was
you're encouraging it.
The bad.
Yes, you're encouraging it, which if they do it without you, they're fucking crazy. And that's
that's my responsibility.
Yeah. So overall, though, dude, I think if you take some of this stuff into account, remember what we talked about, the trades. If you step over minion wave, it's not a favorable trade anymore. Okay. Roams mid-game, like if you can exploit your laner, which you could in this particular instance, great, go for it. But if that guy is smarter and freezing under the turret and he isn't just dying to you in lane, then you need to roam bottom and look to make picks there. Obviously, like as you're coming forward into team fights, use those like I call them like a preparatory phase, where it's just like you're not really doing anything, you're just kind of wandering in an area that you know is safe. Think about shit. Be like, what can I think about right now? And be like, well, Annie has, Annie's my only real lose condition. That's what you should be saying to yourself. Like, this is the only way I lose, is this bitch hits me with an ult. So I'm going to bait my team. She didn't hit me with an ult, no matter what. Right? So, and then you got those, and then you got, what else? You can consider taking teleport, because of the fact that you can argue that you are so much better than these lanes, right? Or, alternatively, you may not even be better than them. You can just farm up, roam to bottom, and get a double kill, ruin the bot lane, come up to top, and then you're snowballed, and then you
just
kill him.
Just be like a terror to the entire map.
Yeah. I think honestly, I think it's pretty standard for like Smurfs and boosters to do. Because any booster that I see pretty much runs teleport in all lanes, like I'm talking mid and top.
Oh, wow.
Because they know that they're so much better than their opponent that it doesn't matter. I'm not gonna like just fucking hype you up and be like, you're so much better than these guys. But I will say that you are thinking more than these guys. And you're gonna get better. And you're gonna make better decisions in those mid game spots that are gonna allow you to climb consistently. And I think that if you're farming well and taking smart trades, you won't really need the ignite, and you could just bank on maybe roaming bottom. But if you're comfortable with ignite, and
I like that a lot. I like that a lot. I like the idea. I know that a Twitch Soraka would be devastated by a roam.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's part of the logic that people don't do it. You might fuck them up. You might force some awkward roams while you're learning, like when it's good and when it's bad. But it's important that you have that in your arsenal of like ideas, because really this game just comes down to like ideas, right? From everything from, you know, oh, you've killed these guys, this wave's pushing, go top instead and push that wave and just leave the shit in the back.
The tilt factor is real.
Yes.
Like, I could just derail the game.
Yeah, exactly. That's part of the reason they do it. I know, like I said, the booster guys and shit. I watch Korean solo queue. I stay the fuck away from like pros and worlds and all that shit, because this is what I focus on. I focus on the solo queue stuff and teaching people solo queue, because that's what the population of League focuses on. So for me, what I've seen is all the booster guys, when they're climbing, they just take teleport. They just win their lane. They go teleport somewhere, win another lane, and they just fucking go off.
Hey, two out of 3 lanes can't go bad.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, there's good odds there. That's where you get those 85% win rate type of shits when you're really just romping. But overall, man, I think you've got this replay. It's gonna be up on YouTube. You should be able to go through it. I got a stream now.
Yeah,
I gave you. I ran the clock over for you a little bit.
Thank you very much. I very much appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. I know I was a little slow to respond, and
no, it's all good.
I hope this helps. YouTube, thank you so much for watching. If you want coaching, all you have to do is message me here on Twitch, whatever. Thank you so much, Nicholas, for your time, and you will find this on YouTube within, like, I don't know, a week.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.